Welcome, dear traveler, to a voyage into the heart of the vast, unfathomable ocean, a realm so enigmatic and profound that it has stirred the human soul for centuries. As you settle into the embrace of the night, allow me to weave a tapestry of words, painting the vivid wonders lurking beneath the waves. Pause, just for a heartbeat. Consider, where in the world are you listening from? Perhaps nestled within the gentle glow of moonlight filtering through your window, or bathed in the golden hush of an afternoon's retreat. Wherever you find yourself, know you are part of a collective, a global constellation of curious hearts drawn to the ocean's siren call. If tales of fearless explorers and the marvels they unveiled ignite a spark within you, I invite you to remain with us. Here we embark on gentle odysseys, threading history and science into soothing narratives tenderly crafted to cradle you into restful slumber. Close your eyes now. Envision standing at the water's edge, the rhythmic kiss of waves upon the shore, a lullaby older than time itself. The sea, an endless expanse, has always whispered to us, its siren song a blend of mystery and promise. Did you know that these watery arms cradle over 70% of our planet, dwarfing the lands we call home? And yet, despite humanity's burning curiosity and boundless ingenuity, we've explored less than a tenth of these shadowed depths. For centuries, the abyss was thought to be barren, a dark, silent void where life dared not exist. The crushing weight of water, the eternal absence of sunlight, seemed to snuff out the possibility of life. It was a place born of myths, where sea monsters slumbered and the boundaries of reality blurred. But the true story of deep-sea exploration is woven with threads of perseverance and an insatiable thirst for understanding. It's a saga of brave souls, men and women fueled by wonder, who ventured into the unknown armed with nothing but their wits, flickering lanterns of curiosity in the vast darkness. Our journey begins in the echoing halls of antiquity with a figure whose thoughts would ripple through time, Aristotle. Over 2,000 years ago, this Greek philosopher dared to believe the cold, dark waters teemed with unseen life. A radical notion then, sparked by mysterious creatures washed ashore, serpentine beings glimmering with otherworldly luminescence. Though Aristotle lacked the means to confirm his musings, his ideas planted seeds in the fertile minds of future explorers. Centuries passed, and the abyss remained cloaked in mystery, its secrets guarded by the veiled depths, until the dawn of those bold enough to challenge the darkness. Imagine Captain James Cook, a master navigator steering through uncharted waters, his eyes reflecting both the starlight above and the mysteries below. His voyages revealed depths fathoms beyond prior reckoning, whispering of realms untouched by human hands. Then came Edward Forbes, whose dredges brought forth dazzling creatures from yawning depths, glimmering sea stars, delicate anemones, and bizarre fish, radiant in their alien beauty. Yet, as he probed deeper, life seemed to fade, leading him to proclaim the azoic hypothesis, a belief that beyond a certain depth, life could not exist. But nature, ever the master of surprise, had more tales to tell. The HMS Challenger set sail, its mission clear, to uncover the ocean's truths. As the ship's crew lowered nets into yawning abysses, they retrieved not emptiness, but life, resilient, radiant, and awe-inspiring. Giants of the deep, glowing with ethereal light, creatures adapted to a world of perpetual night. From Aristotle's quiet contemplations to the Challenger's triumphant revelations, the abyss whispered its secrets of perseverance, the indomitable spirit of discovery, and the boundless wonders that await those who dare to look beyond the horizon. And as you drift into the gentle embrace of sleep, may these tales cradle you, a lullaby woven from the threads of curiosity, wonder, and the eternal dance between light and shadow beneath the waves. Armed with little more than the fire of their intellects and an unyielding desire to unveil the ocean's hidden truths, our tale commences, not amidst the sleek vessels and sonar pulses of the modern age, but in the ancient echoes of antiquity. Here stands a man whose thoughts would ripple through the annals of scientific discovery, shaping our quest for knowledge across centuries. His name was Aristotle. Over 2 millennia have danced past since his time, yet his wisdom continues to resonate like the steady beat of waves upon the shore. A Greek philosopher and polymath, Aristotle's mind was an insatiable vessel, adrift across realms from biology and physics to metaphysics and politics. A pupil of Plato, mentor to Alexander the Great, he was a titan whose intellectual legacy became the bedrock of Western thought. Yet it was amid the salt-laden breezes and cerulean expanses of the marine world that Aristotle etched some of his most enduring marks. In the 4th century BCE, he dared to imagine life dwelling in the cold, ink-black depths of the sea, a notion as radical then as believing stars whispered secrets. To most, the abyss was but an empty void, a lifeless chasm beneath the fragile crust of the known world. But Aristotle's revelations surfaced not from abstract musings alone. They crested with the strange, spectral creatures cast ashore by the Mediterranean's restless tides. These sea-born phantoms, serpentine, grotesque, and luminous, defied the familiar, challenging the line between myth and the tangible. Some bore bodies like twisted ribbons of shadow, others brandished glinting fangs, or carried lanterns of living light. To Aristotle, they were not anomalies, but emissaries from a vibrant, unseen realm, a realm not barren, but brimming with life woven in unfamiliar threads. He reasoned, if such marvels could haunt the shallows, what wonders might lurk in the ocean's fathomless heart? Though the tools to pierce those depths eluded him, his hypotheses planted fragile seeds, seeds that would one day blossom in the minds of explorers yet unborn. Centuries would drift past, the deep sea remaining shrouded in speculative mist, a canvas for sailors' legends, serpents coiling beneath waves, spectral ships adrift beyond the horizon's reach. Yet even within these tales spun by firelight, faint echoes of truth whispered. In the 1st century CE, the Roman naturalist Pliny the Elder gathered the ocean's fragmented tales into his natural history, a mosaic of lore and observation. Fishermen's nets, heavy with salt and mystery, revealed beings with eyes vast as moons and bodies aglow like submerged stars. Pliny's words sparkled with wonder and embellishment, yet beneath the gilded prose lay genuine glimpses of an abyss teeming with life, a world where the ordinary laws of nature bowed to the extraordinary. All the knowledge of the natural world that had been accumulated up to that point in his writings, Pliny described a number of strange creatures that had been hauled up from the depths by fishermen. There were giant squids with eyes the size of dinner plates and fish that glowed in the dark like fireflies. Pliny's descriptions were often exaggerated and embellished, but they hinted at a world beyond the reach of human knowledge, a realm where the normal rules of biology did not apply. 17 centuries would pass before humanity dared to peel back the veil of the deep sea, venturing beyond whispered legends into the abyss's true depths. In the twilight of the 18th century, a British naval officer named Captain James Cook embarked on a series of voyages that would not merely chart new lands, but redraw the very boundaries of human understanding. Cook was more than a master navigator. He was a meticulous observer, a man whose scientific curiosity burned with the same intensity as the stars he studied. His first voyage had an astronomical purpose, to witness the transit of Venus across the sun's face, a rare celestial ballet that promised to unlock the secret of calculating the distance between Earth and the sun.
Yet, as the dark silhouette of Venus drifted against the fiery orb, Cook's gaze lingered not just on the heavens, but on the endless expanse of ocean beneath. His heart, it seemed, beat to the rhythm of tides and whispered with the winds. On his second voyage, this fascination deepened. Armed with nothing more than a weighted rope, Cook dared to measure the ocean's breadth, plunging it into depths that clawed at the very edge of the known. 7,200 feet, a chasm far deeper than any human had fathomed before. Each length of rope retrieved from the abyss was a thread pulled from the fabric of mystery itself. Cook's revelations rippled through the scientific world, stirring a wave of fervor and igniting the imaginations of those hungry to glimpse the unseen. Among them was Edward Forbes, a British naturalist whose passion for the natural world was as boundless as the seas he explored. Forbes roamed the rugged coastlines of Europe and the shimmering Mediterranean, his eyes always searching for life's hidden artistry. In the 1830s, his attention turned to the deep sea, that shadowed frontier where sunlight's fingers could not reach. Armed with a humble dredge, he lowered it into waters stretching 1,800 feet deep, each descent a silent plea to the ocean's heart. When the dredge resurfaced, it bore gifts from another world, delicate sea stars shimmering like fractured constellations, anemones with feathery tendrils whispering secrets of the abyss, and fish so strange they seemed painted with the dreams of another realm. Glowing fins, ethereal lures, and teeth honed into razors by evolution's patient hand. Forbes believed he had discovered a new frontier, a realm as rich in life's splendor as any sunlit shore. But beneath his wonder simmered a quiet doubt. The deeper he reached, the fewer the creatures he found. By the time his dredge scraped the silt at 1,800 feet, it surfaced with little more than echoes, a haunting absence where he had hoped for abundance. The abyss, it seemed, held its deepest secrets tight, wrapped in darkness and silence, waiting for braver souls and bolder questions. Almost no life at all, or so Forbes concluded, gazing into the abyss with the limited lens of his time. He coined it the azoic hypothesis, from the Greek for without life, envisioning the deep sea as a desolate expanse where the absence of sunlight and the oppressive weight of water crushed any flicker of vitality. To the scientific minds of the era, it seemed irrefutable. The deep was cold, dark, unforgiving, a chasm beyond the reach of life's delicate tendrils. Yet the ocean harbors secrets that defy such stark certainties. As the 19th century waned, a new generation of explorers emerged, their hearts alight with curiosity and armed with the burgeoning marvels of technology. This was the dawn of the heroic age of deep-sea exploration, a time when human ingenuity strained against the boundaries of the known world. At the vanguard was the HMS Challenger, its hull slicing through the waves in 1872. Embarking on a 4-year odyssey to unravel the mysteries of the oceans. Aboard the Challenger, naturalists and oceanographers wielded instruments gleaming with the promise of discovery. They dredged the seafloor, drew water from shadowed depths, and charted the silent flow of ocean currents. From the icy breath of Antarctic waters to the sun-dappled expanse of the Pacific, their nets surfaced not emptiness, but wonders. A kaleidoscope of life unseen by human eyes. Glass sponges delicate as frost, feathery crinoids swaying like underwater ferns, ethereal bioluminescent fish, and colossal isopods with ancient armored forms. In every sample, from the sunlit shallows to the abyssal dark, life thrived. The Challenger's revelations struck a fatal blow to Forbes's hypothesis. The deep was no barren wasteland. It was a cathedral of diversity, its vast halls filled with creatures shaped by pressures both literal and metaphysical. The torch of discovery passed from the Challenger to others. In 1899, the Dutch vessel HNLMS Siboga ventured into the deep basins of the Indo-Pacific, unveiling thousands of new species, each one a testament to nature's boundless ingenuity. The early 20th century saw the American research ship Albatross conducting daring descents, steel cables groaning under the weight of treasures pulled from the abyss. Among the most iconic figures of this era were William Beebe and Otis Barton, two souls united by a thirst for the unknown. Beebe, a naturalist whose fascination with life's wild tapestry led him through jungles and coral reefs, and Barton, an engineer with the mind of an inventor, forged an alliance that would pierce the ocean's deepest secrets. Together, they conceived the bathysphere, a steel orb with quartz portals, a fragile sanctuary against the ocean's crushing embrace. In 1934, they descended into the ink-black waters off Bermuda. Within the cramped, claustrophobic sphere, they witnessed a world no human had ever seen. Phantom lights flickering in the darkness, strange beings drifting like whispers of another reality. Their eyes met the unblinking gaze of creatures forged by eternal night, their forms both monstrous and mesmerizing. Forbes was wrong. The abyss was not a void, but a testament, a realm where life perseveres not despite the darkness, but because of it. And deeper they descended, as the faint luminescence from above surrendered to the profound darkness. Through the thick quartz windows of their fragile sphere, Beebe and Barton beheld a world untouched by human gaze. An ethereal abyss adorned with flickers of bioluminescence, casting ghostly glows upon the alien seascape. Strange, translucent beings drifted gracefully past, their delicate forms shimmering like whispered secrets of the deep. Jellyfish pulsed rhythmically, their tendrils trailing like spectral ribbons, weaving through the dim otherworldly light. Life flourished here, in an environment that would crush a human in an instant, its resilience etched into the very fabric of the abyss. Over the course of several daring descents, Beebe and Barton ventured beyond 3,000 feet, charting realms where jagged rock formations and towering underwater cliffs defied terrestrial logic. Their vivid accounts painted tales of creatures both mesmerizing and unfathomable, challenging the very laws of nature. Their observations, immortalized in Beebe's Half Mile Down, captured the world's imagination, igniting a fervor for deep-sea exploration that endures today. Yet the bathysphere dives were merely the prologue. In the decades that followed, technological marvels emerged. World War II catalyzed the advent of precision-depth echo sounding, transforming the ocean floor into a detailed map of hidden valleys and mountains. The DSV Alvin, launched in 1964, granted researchers intimate access to the abyss, enabling first-hand study of its enigmatic inhabitants. Remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, tethered to surface vessels, plunged deeper still. Armed with cameras, sensors, and dexterous manipulators, they unveiled secrets from the Titanic's resting place to the vibrant communities thriving around hydrothermal vents. Autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, soared into the unknown, untethered scouts pre-programmed to navigate vast stretches of ocean, collecting data and glimpses of worlds beyond human reach. Some even ventured into the cosmic seas of Jupiter and Saturn's moons, seeking echoes of life beyond Earth. Yet, despite a century of relentless discovery, the deep sea remains a realm of mystery. Its absolute darkness, crushing pressure, and frigid embrace pose formidable challenges. Here, life is a testament to adaptation. Organisms foregoing eyes, bones, even muscles, becoming gelatinous phantoms, or evolving monstrous maws capable of devouring scarce prey with ruthless efficiency. Masters of camouflage, some wear cloaks of transparency or hues of crimson and black, rendering them invisible in the abyssal gloom. Others wield bioluminescence like cosmic artists, painting the darkness with flashes of light to lure, bewilder, or seduce.
Yet, the most astonishing marvels dwell where the Earth's crust breathes. Hydrothermal vents spewing life-sustaining chemicals in a toxic ballet. Here, tube worms and giant clams thrive, nourished by unseen microbial symbionts. These microscopic titans, invisible to the naked eye, form the deep's hidden heartbeat, their biomass possibly surpassing all other life on Earth.
Despite its alien nature, the deep sea whispers familiar tales of life persisting against all odds, of ecosystems flourishing in desolation, and of humanity's insatiable curiosity. It is not just a realm of eternal night, but a living testament to the resilience of life and the boundless depths of our own wonder. Astonishing adaptations flourish among the enigmatic creatures dwelling near hydrothermal vents etched into the ocean's floor. These undersea oases, fissures where the Earth's crust exhales heat and chemicals, nurture vibrant ecosystems in defiance of sunlight's absence. Picture towering clusters of ghostly tube worms and giant clams, their forms swaying gently in the mineral-rich currents. Instead of sunlight, they thrive on hydrogen sulfide, a toxic fume to us, yet life's nectar to them. Amidst this dark expanse, unseen heroes reign supreme. Microbes, invisible architects of the abyss. These minuscule life forms inhabit every crevice, from the jagged rocks and muddy seafloor to the icy sediments cloaking Earth's polar fringes. Scientists, peering into this hidden world, believe the biomass beneath the seafloor might surpass all life on Earth combined, a secret civilization whispering beneath our oceans. But the deep sea isn't merely a realm of shadow and scarcity. It's a sanctuary where life stubbornly flourishes in the most improbable corners. Consider the whale fall. When a giant of the sea succumbs, its colossal form becomes a banquet for the abyssal denizens. Scavengers gather, drawn by the silent invitation of decaying flesh, while sulfur-eating organisms find sustenance in the bones. A single whale's death births an entire ecosystem, a miniature universe pulsing in the eternal dark. Then there are the woodfalls, terrestrial logs and debris lost to storms that descend to the ocean's depths like forgotten relics. Resting on the seafloor, they transform into rare sanctuaries, nourishing life in the barren expanse and perhaps guiding early marine creatures into the abyss eons ago. The mystery deepens with brine pools, dense, salty basins forming underwater lakes, alien landscapes within the abyss. Despite their toxic embrace, they cradle mussels and shrimp, species molded by the harsh chemistry. Nearby, methane seeps, silent cousins of hydrothermal vents, release ghostly plumes of gas, nurturing entire communities of microbes and tube worms, creating vibrant ecosystems untouched by the sun's gaze. In the oppressive darkness, flashes of bioluminescence flicker like stardust, betraying the presence of gelatinous beings drifting through the inky void. This alien realm, once dismissed as lifeless, reveals itself as a complex tapestry of existence, woven from threads of adaptation and resilience. Among its most iconic inhabitants is the anglerfish, a specter of the deep, its bioluminescent lure glowing with sinister allure. An ambush predator, it possesses an insatiable gape and a stomach that stretches to engulf prey twice its size, a grotesque marvel dredged from obscurity during the HMS Challenger expedition in the late 19th century. Decades later, in the 1930s, American naturalist William Beebe descended into the abyss within a cramped steel sphere, the bathysphere. Through thick quartz windows, he became the first human to behold the deep sea firsthand. What he saw defied imagination. Luminous creatures pulsing like spectral lanterns in the void, moving with an elegance both haunting and serene. Beebe described it as a league of absolute night, where darkness grew deeper and the faint blue above seemed distant and unreal. His vivid tales enthralled the world, igniting a new era of exploration. Yet it wasn't until the 1960s that unmanned submersibles, tethered to ships like lifelines to the surface, ventured deeper. These mechanical explorers collected samples, took measurements, and bore witness to the abyss with unblinking electronic eyes. One of their most profound discoveries came in 1977, hydrothermal vents, deep-sea hot springs, radiant with life in defiance of all expectations. These undersea crucibles revealed ecosystems thriving not on sunlight, but on the alchemy of chemical energy. In the eternal dark, life had written its own rules, and humanity had just begun to read the first lines. Through the tiny portholes of the DSV Alvin, plunging into the enigmatic depths of the Galapagos Rift off Ecuador's coast, the pilots beheld a spectacle that defied expectation. Towering chimneys exhaling mineral-rich plumes stood like ancient sentinels, their dark forms fringed with vivid life. Giant, pale tube worms swaying like spectral banners, ghostly crabs scuttling with an eerie grace, and shrimp devoid of eyes, yet thriving in the eternal night. This discovery of hydrothermal vents unraveled a profound revelation: life flourishing in Earth's most forbidding realms. Here, in realms untouched by sunlight, entire ecosystems pulsed with vitality, nourished not by the sun's warmth, but by the planet's inner breath, heat and chemicals seething from the fractured crust. From the fissures spewed superheated jets rich with sulfur compounds. Yet, nestled within this toxic broth, microbes thrived. They were alchemists of the abyss, deriving energy not from light, but through chemosynthesis, breaking down sulfur to forge life. This revelation reshaped our understanding of habitability, hinting that life's genesis might have stirred in such shadowed crucibles eons ago. Yet hydrothermal vents are but one of the deep's many hidden sanctuaries. The abyssal plains conceal unexpected oases, whale falls, where the immense carcasses of the ocean's giants descend like celestial bodies, seeding the void with sustenance. Around these fallen leviathans, scavengers, opportunists, and sulfur-feeding organisms weave complex tapestries of life, feasting for decades in the nutrient-starved gloom. Similarly, woodfalls, trees swallowed by storms and surrendered to the sea, become islands of abundance. These relics of terrestrial life foster communities of wood-boring clams and ancient creatures, perhaps guiding the first forays of shallow species into the deep millions of years ago. But even in the absence of such windfalls, life endures. Brine pools, heavy with salt, gather in the seafloor's quiet depressions, alien lakes within an alien world. Their shores gleam with life: mussels, shrimp, tube worms, creatures defiant against the brine's toxic embrace. For others, this liquid is death incarnate, a boundary not to be crossed. Methane seeps, distant cousins to the vents, exhale ghostly plumes where bacteria dine on invisible feasts. Around them, tube worms and mussels thrive, building kingdoms upon the breath of ancient carbon. Even the methane itself sometimes freezes into solid hydrates, crystalline sculptures that echo the fragile art of stony corals. Seamounts, extinct volcanoes now submerged kings, rise from the abyss, their flanks carved by currents into vibrant, living tapestries. Sponges, corals, fish, and filter feeders cling to their rocky contours, congregating in dense, defiant crowds. Many of these species exist nowhere else, isolated in their underwater citadels, evolving in splendid seclusion. But even beyond these vivid enclaves, life seeps into every shadow. The muddy tapestry of the seafloor teems with unseen multitudes. Bacteria, archaea, single-celled architects, trillions upon trillions, thrive between grains of sediment, recycling the perpetual rain of organic whispers from the world above. Buried beneath both seabed and oceanic crust lies a hidden cosmos, the deep biosphere. A realm unseen but vast, perhaps holding more than half of Earth's biomass. A silent testament to life's persistence, etched not in light or grandeur, but in the simple, enduring pulse of existence against the darkness. As our minds drift through these alien seascapes, it is humbling to realize how little we truly know about the deep oceans. Whenever scientists descend into the abyss, they uncover bizarre new species and ecosystems, each discovery a whisper from a world hidden beneath layers of darkness. Over 80% of this vast underwater realm remains unmapped, unobserved, and unexplored, a shadowed expanse that holds secrets older than time itself. Today, new technologies pierce the gloom, casting fragile beams of light into the depths. Fleets of robotic submersibles crisscross the seafloor, their cameras capturing ethereal landscapes, their mechanical arms gathering samples from the silent world below. Autonomous underwater drones glide silently through the abyss, enduring months of solitude, while manned submersibles carry explorers into the deepest trenches for face-to-face encounters with creatures as strange as dreams. Bit by bit, the mysteries of the deep shift into focus. But as we uncover the treasures of the abyss, we also learn how fragile they are. Deep-sea trawling scrapes clear 2 million square kilometers of seafloor habitat each year, an expanse rivaling Mexico's vastness, leaving scars etched into the ocean's memory. Seabed mining looms, a looming threat to vent and seep communities we scarcely understand. Climate change alters the very chemistry of the oceans faster than in millions of years, its invisible fingers reaching even into the abyss. The bizarre and wonderful life of the deep hangs in a delicate balance. Our fate, as much as any other species, is intertwined with the health of the oceans and the myriad creatures that inhabit them, from the sunlit shallows to the midnight zone. So, as we drift off to sleep, dreaming of the alien world far below the waves, we can rest a bit easier knowing that with exploration comes awareness, and with awareness comes the drive to understand and protect. The dark depths may be out of sight, but thanks to the curiosity and ingenuity of scientists around the world, they are no longer out of mind. Piece by piece, drop by drop, we are shedding light on the largest, least known habitat on Earth, the mysterious realm of the deep oceans. The vast, dark abyss has long haunted the human imagination. For centuries, the inky blackness conjured tales of mysterious leviathans, ravenous sea serpents, and mythical behemoths drifting in unseen waters beneath the waves. Even as recently as 200 years ago, most scientists believed the deep ocean to be a freezing, lightless void, a dark desert utterly devoid of life. How could anything, they reasoned, hope to eke out an existence in such a hostile environment, cut off from the sun's nourishing rays? It took a procession of intrepid explorers, armed with ingenuity, fortitude, and an unquenchable thirst for knowledge, to gradually pierce the veil of mystery shrouding the deep sea. Their discoveries would forever transform our understanding of the oceans and the life they cradled. One of the first to hint at the strange organisms lurking in the depths was Pliny the Elder, an ancient Roman naturalist. In his sprawling encyclopedia, Natural History, Pliny recounted tales of fishermen reeling in bizarre creatures entangled in their nets, monstrous sharks, sawfish, and giant squid. Some of these accounts, no doubt, sprang from seaside legend and the human penchant for exaggeration, but others hinted at genuine denizens of the deep, rare or unknown to science at the time. For over 1,000 years after Pliny, little progress was made in exploring the oceans. The seafloor was simply too deep, its mysteries hidden beyond the reach of ancient technologies. This began to change in the 18th century with the voyages of Captain James Cook, a brilliant navigator and explorer. Cook's expeditions filled in vast swaths of the world map. During his first voyage, he deployed weighted lines to measure the ocean's depth. To his astonishment, the lines revealed abysses far deeper than anyone had imagined, over 7,200 feet, and even then his crude weights failed to touch the bottom. For the first time, humanity began to grasp the sheer immensity of the world's oceans. If the seas were so incomprehensibly deep, what strange creatures might dwell in that chilly abyss far from the reach of fishermen's nets? In the early 19th century, British naturalist Edward Forbes sought to answer that question. Between 1841 and 1842, Forbes conducted pioneering dredging operations in the Aegean Sea, dragging metal scoops along the seafloor to collect samples. Up to depths of 1,800 feet, he discovered an astonishing menagerie of novel creatures, delicate sea lilies, luminous glass sponges, and bizarre fish found nowhere else on Earth. Yet below 1,800 feet, Forbes's dredges came up largely empty, containing little more than mud and sand. From these results, he developed his infamous azoic hypothesis, the belief that life simply could not exist beyond certain depths, with eternal darkness, freezing cold, and crushing pressure imposing an impenetrable barrier to living organisms. For a time, the azoic hypothesis was widely accepted in scientific circles. The oceans, it seemed, had their limits, bottomless in depth perhaps, but not in life. But, as is often the case in science, this tidy consensus did not last long. In the 1860s, researchers examined sediments from supposedly lifeless depths, discovering that these samples teemed with microscopic organisms. Tiny foraminifera, radiolarians, and other protists, flourishing unseen. The abyss was far from lifeless. It would take the voyage of HMS Challenger to shatter the azoic theory once and for all, revealing that the deep ocean was in fact a vibrant realm, a cathedral of life hidden beneath the waves. In the 1860s, the scientific consensus was clear and unwavering. The deep ocean was a barren void, a lifeless abyss cloaked in eternal darkness. Yet, as is often with the natural world, certainty proved fragile. Researchers, driven by quiet curiosity and meticulous observation, began to scrutinize the mud and ooze dredged from what was thought to be the sterile seafloor. Peering through rudimentary lenses, they discovered a hidden cosmos, thriving with microscopic life. Foraminifera, radiolarians, and other delicate protists teemed in these sediments, their intricate forms rendered invisible to the naked eye, yet profoundly alive. The abyss was far from lifeless. It whispered of mysteries that defied the comfortable boundaries of knowledge. But it would take the audacious voyage of the HMS Challenger to shatter the azoic theory altogether. Launched in 1872, the Challenger expedition embarked on an odyssey unlike any before. A 4-year circumnavigation of the world, its mission to unveil the ocean's secrets under the watchful eye of Charles Wyville Thomson. Across the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans, the crew cast their heavy dredges into the depths, retrieving fragments of an alien world. With each haul, the ship grew into a floating cabinet of curiosities, delicate sea stars, radiant anglerfish glowing with ethereal light, and viperfish whose nightmarish visages hinted at evolutionary tales written in darkness. Even more astonishing were the invertebrates found clinging to underwater mountains, crimson-lipped tube worms, colossal clams, and armored snails, thriving in a realm untouched by sunlight. Day by day, the Challenger's crew realized they were not merely cataloging marine life. They were unveiling an entire biosphere, hidden just beyond the veil of human perception. In Thomson's words, the deep sea was as rich in variety as the sunlit shallows, a revelation that marked the dawn of modern oceanography. The Challenger's triumph ignited an international fervor, a race to delve deeper into the ocean's enigmatic heart. In the Netherlands, the HNLMS Saboga embarked on a 3-year expedition, 1899 to 1900, charting the deep basins around Indonesia. Their efforts revealed the coral triangle's astonishing biodiversity, painting vivid tapestries of life woven through shadowed waters. Across the Atlantic, the U.S. Fish Commission vessel RV Albatross mounted ambitious cruises in the early 1900s. Equipped with steel cables and an insatiable hunger for discovery, the Albatross dredged the abyssal seafloor, unearthing creatures that seemed spun from the threads of dreams. The gulper eel with its cavernous maw, the pelican eel's eerie silhouette, and the abyssal holothurians, affectionately dubbed sea pigs, their translucent pink bodies a testament to life's adaptation. Yet these discoveries, as wondrous as they were, captured only fleeting echoes of the deep. They were glimpses of life torn from its context, fragile organisms wrenched from the cold embrace of their abyssal home. To truly understand the deep sea's enigmatic pulse, one would have to venture into its shadowed realms, to witness life in situ, a feat long deemed impossible.
But the 1930s were an era ripe with daring and innovation. Enter Otis Barton, a Harvard-trained engineer haunted by an audacious dream:
to build a vessel that could transport humans into the ocean's deepest, darkest reaches. He found a kindred spirit in William Beebe, a naturalist and early scuba pioneer whose scientific curiosity burned with the fervor of ancient explorers. Together, they forged the bathysphere, a small, unyielding sphere of steel less than 5 feet in diameter, its walls thick with defiance against the crushing pressures of the deep. 3 quartz windows, curving inward like the eyes of some mechanical leviathan, allowed a tenuous connection to the outside world. Equipped with spotlights, a fragile telephone line, and oxygen tanks, the bathysphere was both a sanctuary and a prison, barely large enough to cradle 2 souls. In 1930, Beebe and Barton began their descent into history. Lowered by a steel cable off Bermuda's coast, they plunged into the abyss, crossing thresholds no human had ever dared. At 800 feet, the ocean grew dim, a twilight realm of flickering shadows. By 1,400 and then 2,200 feet, darkness swallowed the last vestiges of sunlight, leaving only the cold glow of their lamps. Through the quartz windows, they beheld visions that defied imagination. Bioluminescent fireflies drifting like celestial embers, spectral anglerfish luring the curious with ghostly lanterns, and ethereal siphonophores pulsing with silent grace, like living chandeliers suspended in a ballroom of eternal night. In 1934, they embarked on their deepest dive, a harrowing descent to 3,028 feet. Suspended in the dim blue void, the bathysphere became an isolated world, its fragile shell the only barrier against an environment indifferent to human frailty. There, in that abyssal cathedral, they glimpsed a creature beyond any earthly reference. A pale-bodied fish with wing-like fins, a whip-like tail, and spectral green eyes that glowed with an otherworldly luminescence. In that fleeting encounter, Beebe and Barton touched the infinite, their hearts echoing the silent hymn of the deep. Their journey was more than a scientific milestone. It was a testament to human wonder, a reminder that even in the face of darkness, curiosity lights the way. In the bathysphere's ethereal glow, Beebe christened the spectral creature he observed the abyssal hatchetfish, its body gleaming like a silver shard, shaped by evolution into a perfect emblem of the deep's mysteries. Gazing at this fragile marvel, Beebe felt a profound shift, realizing that even his boundless scientific imagination had not conjured beings such as these. He would later write, "I knew I should never again look upon the stars without recalling their living, breathing counterparts drifting under unimaginable pressures in the eternal darkness below." The bathysphere dives of the 1930s were not mere descents. They were portals cracked ajar, offering fleeting glimpses into a vast, shadowed realm. Yet most of the abyss remained an untouched enigma, a silent world cloaked beneath crushing waters. Only wartime necessity would forge the tools to illuminate this darkness. The 1940s birthed sonar, sound navigation and ranging, designed to hunt submarines but destined to reveal the ocean's heart. Its echoing pings painted the seabed not as an empty expanse, but a jagged tapestry of trenches, towering seamounts, and underwater mountain ranges rivaling the grandeur of terrestrial peaks. This revelation spurred profound discoveries. In 1977, aboard the DSV Alvin, geologists near the Galapagos Islands witnessed a surreal vista, black smoke billowing from volcanic vents like underwater chimneys. As Alvin drew near, the scientists beheld an ecosystem beyond belief. Giant tube worms with crimson plumes, ghostly crabs, and blood-red octopuses flourishing without sunlight. These hydrothermal vents, deep-sea hot springs where superheated water surged from the Earth's fractures, were life's unlikely havens. The scalding fluid, rich in minerals, sustained microbial alchemists that oxidized hydrogen sulfide, creating energy in defiance of the sun's absence. This microbial base nourished entire ecosystems, weaving life's fabric from Earth's internal heat and chemistry. The discovery was transformative. For the first time, humanity understood that life could thrive without sunlight, drawing sustenance from the planet's molten breath. If such oases existed in our abyss, might they not flourish in the dark oceans of Europa or Enceladus, whispering possibilities of life beyond Earth? Yet even hydrothermal vents are but a single thread in the deep sea's rich tapestry. In the 1980s, marine biologists exploring the abyssal plains, vast muddy stretches covering more than half of Earth's surface, stumbled upon somber skeletal monuments, whale falls, the immense remains of ocean giants resting on the seafloor. Far from desolation, these carcasses birthed bustling communities. When a whale dies and sinks, its body becomes an oasis, a sudden windfall in a kingdom where nourishment is scarce. First come the scavengers, sharks, rat-tails, hagfish, feasting on the soft flesh. Then arrive the bone-eating worms and zombie crabs, creatures evolved to bore into and digest the nutrient-rich skeleton. As the bones slowly decay, they release sulfides, nourishing bacteria and tube worms, sustaining life for decades until the very last fragment dissolves into the abyss. In 2006, marine biologist Craig Smith of the University of Hawaii orchestrated a daring experiment. His team deployed a 30-ton gray whale carcass to the ocean floor off California, meticulously documenting the arrival and succession of life through remotely operated vehicles over 6 years. Their observations revealed a hidden dynamic, a slow, intricate ballet of life and death, a cycle that the Challenger or Albatross expeditions could scarcely have imagined. Whale falls are not solitary sanctuaries. The deep hosts other havens, sunken logs, kelp beds, even shipwrecks, each a rare banquet in the abyss. Among the most beguiling are brine pools, hypersaline lakes nestled in seafloor depressions. In the Gulf of Mexico, ancient salt seeps collect, forming toxic, dense basins where few can survive. Yet life, ever defiant, flourishes at the margins. In the 1980s, explorers discovered mussel beds encircling these brine lakes, their genetic lineage tracing back to kin at hydrothermal vents. These mussels, adapted to endure lethal salinity and searing heat, embody life's relentless ingenuity, claiming niches carved by extremes.
Today, autonomous underwater vehicles roam the depths, silent sentinels mapping the abyss, revealing new wonders with every dive. Networks like the Neptune Array stream the deep's pulse to our screens, capturing whale songs, chemical whispers, and faint glimmers of life in perpetual darkness. Yet, for all our advances, the deep remains largely unexplored, a frontier where over 90% of its secrets lie hidden. Each expedition is a promise, a hope that amid the shadows, life's resilience will greet us anew, in forms stranger and more beautiful than we can yet imagine. Beneath the vast expanse of the Pacific, off California's rugged coast, an extraordinary experiment unfolded. Marine biologists Dr. Smith and his team undertook a daring venture. They towed a colossal 30-ton gray whale carcass far out to sea, relinquishing it to the abyssal depths. There, amidst the cold, eternal dark, it settled, a monolithic offering to the unseen denizens below. Over 6 years, with the vigilant gaze of remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, and autonomous seafloor landers, they documented its transformation. Time-lapse imagery bore silent witness to nature's slow, deliberate ballet, as scavengers arrived in waves, each succession revealing a new chapter in the saga of life after death. This haunting phenomenon, known as a whale fall, was elusive to the likes of the HMS Challenger and Albatross expeditions. The ephemeral nature of such events, unpredictable, scattered, and unfolding over decades, defied their reach. Yet these submerged leviathans play a pivotal role in the tapestry of deep-sea ecosystems. They serve as stepping stones, transient havens that bridge the vast abyssal plains, nurturing life where emptiness might otherwise reign. But whale falls are not solitary oases in the abyss. The deep seafloor conceals dense thickets of life, clustered around sunken logs, tangled beds of kelp, even the hushed remains of shipwrecks. Each is a rare bounty, both feast and shelter in a desert of darkness. Perhaps most enigmatic are the brine pools, silent, mirror-like lakes of hypersaline water nestled in seafloor depressions,
particularly in the Gulf of Mexico. These eerie basins, formed from ancient seeping salt deposits, glisten with deadly beauty. To most marine life, these brine pools are forbidden realms. Their salinity, up to fourfold that of the surrounding ocean, is a silent assassin, desiccating the very cells of any creature that dares cross their threshold. Yet nature's defiance is boundless. In the 1980s, oceanographers peering into these toxic lakes off Florida's coast discovered improbable life. Lush beds of mussels clinging defiantly to the pool's periphery. Genetic revelations traced these survivors to the genus Bathymodolis, kin to mussels thriving amid hydrothermal vents. Adapted to endure lethal salinity and searing heat, they unveil evolution's tenacious grip, seizing niches where none should exist. The deep ocean is a realm of perpetual astonishment. With each passing year, as marine technology evolves, new marvels emerge from the abyss. Autonomous underwater vehicles, intricate, intelligent drones, now glide silently for months, mapping unexplored seafloors and gathering secrets beyond the reach of human divers. Networks like the Neptune Array off Washington's coast tether the deep to our fingertips, streaming live footage of whale songs and the ceaseless alchemy of ocean chemistry. Yet, for all our advancements, our understanding of the deep remains a mere whisper against the roar of its mysteries. Over 90% of Earth's oceans remain unexplored, vast realms where undiscovered species await, hidden in darkness older than time. The abyssal plains likely cradle legions of microbes, some perhaps holding keys to revolutionary medicines, cures whispered through molecules shaped by eons of evolution. And deeper still, in the Hadal trenches, those yawning scars of the Earth, the unknown beckons. In the early 2000s, robotic landers from Japan's Kaiko project captured hazy glimpses of ghostly white, shrimp-like creatures scuttling across the Mariana Trench's floor, 7 miles beneath the waves. Subsequent missions unveiled them as a new genus of snailfish, translucent beings sculpted by pressures 1,000-fold greater than at the surface. What other wonders lie cloaked in that ink-black silence? In the infinite dark, life persists, adapted, resilient, and wondrous. The deep ocean's heart beats with secrets yet to be discovered, and only through continued exploration will its timeless tales unfold.
Beneath crushing pressures, 1,000-fold greater than the surface, life persists in forms both enigmatic and ethereal. Translucent, jelly-bodied snailfish, their fragile essence seemingly spun from whispers in water. These denizens of the Hadal depths are not anomalies, but heralds, adapted uniquely to this abyssal world. What other wonders lie cloaked in the ink-drenched canyons of the Mariana Trench? Only the relentless pursuit of discovery will tell. For all its vastness and strangeness, the deep ocean is not untouched by human hands. As our technology grows ever more sophisticated, so too does our reach, and with it, an unsettling capacity to harm these delicate ecosystems. Bottom trawling, that brutish practice of dragging weighted nets across the seafloor, carves deep scars into ancient coral gardens, wounds that may take centuries to heal. Emerging industries like seabed mining threaten to scrape vast swaths of the abyssal plains in a relentless hunt for rare metals and minerals. Meanwhile, the creeping hand of climate change alters the very chemistry of the deep, rendering its waters more acidic, its oxygen scarcer, even as the surface world warms. Yet from this darkness comes a luminous lesson. The abyss, once thought a barren void devoid of life, has been revealed by the heroic age of deep-sea exploration to be a hidden tapestry, woven with threads of unimaginable creatures and oases. In the closing years of the 19th century, the HMS Challenger set forth on a grand odyssey, the first systematic survey of our planet's oceans. For 4 years, this vessel, part ship and part scientific sanctum, circled the globe. Its nets, trawling down to depths of 5 miles, hauled forth life forms both delicate and fearsome, from glass sponges fragile as frost to the nightmare visage of fangtooth fish.
Each specimen unveiled a pageant of existence that defied the sterile assumptions of the past. But gazing upon these marvels, preserved in glass jars, was no substitute for witnessing them in their native shadowed realms. That feat remained beyond reach until the 1930s, when William Beebe and Otis Barton redefined the boundaries of human courage with their revolutionary bathysphere. Suspended by nothing more than a steel cable, this cramped cast-iron sphere, an inch-thick cocoon against the abyss, plunged into the void off Bermuda's coast. As the last vestiges of sunlight surrendered to eternal blackness, their small quartz windows framed visions of an alien sea. Phosphorescent specters adrift, shimmering ctenophores, spectral hatchetfish with tubular, unblinking eyes, and gelatinous worms undulating like ribbons of living lace. Beebe, ever the poet at heart, likened the scene to a slow, unending dance of fragile dreams. Through a series of daring dives, Beebe and Barton pushed deeper into that eternal night, culminating in a record descent beyond 3,000 feet. Yet, even as they celebrated, they understood their triumph was but a fleeting glimpse, a mere breath drawn from the ocean's vast, uncharted lungs. It would take the crucible of global conflict to ignite the technological spark necessary for deeper exploration. The military's drive to conceal submarines beneath oceanic depths spurred the development of sonar, precision depth sensors, and high-pressure engineering. Leveraging these innovations, the bathyscape Trieste finally conquered Earth's deepest chasm, the Mariana Trench, in 1960. Thus dawned the age of the submersible, granting scientists unprecedented access to the abyss. Vessels like the DSV Alvin, launched in 1964, became windows to another world, allowing researchers to linger on the seafloor, to collect specimens with their own hands, to witness firsthand the undulating terrain. Robotic cameras and manipulator arms extended their reach, while unmanned autonomous underwater vehicles opened vast swaths of the deep to efficient, tireless exploration. After centuries spent straining to glimpse the abyss from above, humanity finally waded into the darkness, casting light upon secrets stranger than the speculative imaginings of early naturalists. Delving into these depths, we discovered not a barren wasteland, but an intricate tapestry of habitats, each bustling with life exquisitely adapted to its own fragile niche. The abyssal plains, though sparsely inhabited compared to the sunlit shallows, teem with blind white crustaceans and gelatinous fish, their teeth recurved for grasping elusive prey. Seamounts, thrusting their rocky spires from muddy flatlands, stand encrusted with vibrant corals and sponges, their existence a defiant blaze of color against eternal gloom. Hydrothermal vents, like undersea chimneys, gush scalding mineral-rich water into icy darkness, sustaining oases where giant tube worms, ghostly crabs, and eyeless shrimp thrive amid chemical alchemy. But perhaps most marvelous are the denizens of the Hadal depths, the ocean trenches that plunge to 20,000 feet and beyond. Here, under pressures that exceed 1,000 times that at sea level, enough to crush human bone to pulp, life not only persists, it flourishes. The ethereal Mariana snailfish, delicate as gossamer, flits over silty seafloors, its wing-like fins a whisper against the void. Amphipods, armored ancestors of sand fleas, scuttle with grotesque grandeur, their forms exaggerated in the absence of predators. Even giant single-celled organisms, xenophyophores, construct honeycombed towers, perhaps the most abundant life form in these profound realms. In the eternal night, life's resilience glimmers defiantly. From the haunting songs of sperm whales battling titanic squid in the abyssal dark, to the frenetic twinkle of bioluminescence, nature's own constellations. The deep ocean is not silent. It is a symphony of survival, a world vibrant with life, yet shadowed by new perils. Human impacts seep downward from the sunlit surface. Bottom trawling carves scars into ancient seafloor. Ocean acidification erodes coral skeletons, and the burgeoning specter of deep-sea mining eyes the mineral riches hidden in the darkness. As we continue to explore this last great wilderness, we carry not just the thrill of discovery, but a profound responsibility to preserve it. The deep ocean remains Earth's least known environment, a realm where every expedition reveals unimaginable species and landscapes, silent witnesses to eons of evolution. From the first intrepid naturalists who dared to dream of life in the depths, to the revolutionary technologies that now carry us into the darkness, we've only just begun to fathom the abyss's secrets. The wonders we've glimpsed are mere fragments of an alien world that waits, patient and eternal, beneath the waves. And as you drift into the comforting darkness of sleep, let your thoughts wander to that hidden universe. Imagine the myriad creatures, luminous and strange, living joyfully in their eternal night, as described by William Beebe. Through the quartz windows of the bathysphere, the abyss pressed in, an ink-black void cradling fragile life against impossible odds. Suspended by a slender cable from a ship far above, Beebe and Barton peered into a world no human had ever seen. As they descended deeper, the sunlight faded until only the feeble glow of their flashlight pierced the frigid dark. It was August 15th, 1934, a date etched into history as the moment humanity first laid eyes on the eternal night of the deep. Visions emerged from the abyss, defying the boundaries of reality itself. Billowing veils of bioluminescence rippled through the infinite dark, emanating from creatures so delicate, so diaphanous, they seemed woven from threads of living light. Nightmarish fish, their gaping maws bristling with needle-like teeth, darted from the shadows, ephemeral as ghosts, vanishing as swiftly as they appeared. All around, the water shimmered with pinpricks of brilliance, suspended constellations flickering in silent communion, hinting at an unseen world teeming beyond the probing beams of human curiosity. Long before Beebe's daring descent pierced the abyssal veil, humanity's grasp of the deep was fragmentary, a puzzle assembled from whispered myths and fleeting encounters. In 1818, Sir John Ross ventured into the Arctic's glacial embrace, his weighted line plunging into an oceanic chasm, revealing depths beyond 2,700 meters. Subsequent explorers, armed with stronger hemp ropes and eventually steel cables, unveiled the unimaginable, trenches plunging over 10,000 meters. Their sounding weights, drawn from the abyss, bore clumps of mud, fragile shells, and ghostly worm tubes, a silent testament to life's resilience where none was thought possible.
In the 1840s, Edward Forbes's azoic hypothesis cast a shadow over the scientific imagination, declaring a lifeless ocean below 600 meters. Yet, the HMS Challenger's Odyssey from 1872 to 1876 shattered this illusion. As its dredges raked the ocean's hidden heart, they unearthed delicate glass sponges, ethereal cephalopods, and creatures seemingly etched from forgotten epochs. The abyss was no barren void. It was an oasis of life, thriving in defiance of darkness and crushing pressure. As the 20th century dawned, technological marvels like the research vessel Albatross delved deeper, its steel tendrils dragging nets brimming with gulper eels and eerie anglerfish, monsters born from the abyss, capturing the public's imagination with their grotesque elegance. Yet, it was Beebe and Barton's descent within the fragile sphere of the bathysphere that marked a new era, human eyes meeting the abyss face to face. Beebe's gaze, pressed against thick quartz, beheld an alien ballet, fireworks of bioluminescence, delicate jellyfish pulsing with phosphorescent grace, shrimp bristling with luminous spines. Phantasmagorical beasts materialized, viperfish with sinister glowing lures, gulper eels unfurling cavernous maws, anglerfish wielding ghostly lanterns as deadly lures. Yet beyond these marvels, the abyssal seafloor itself whispered an ancient story, a landscape of rippled ooze and jagged outcrops, untouched by sunlight for eons. There, gossamer sea spiders teetered on spindly legs over shifting sediments. Gelatinous sea cucumbers grazed on nutrient-rich detritus, and brittle stars scuttled among fragile forests of glass sponges. In this realm, time flowed differently,
a dreamscape where life moved with unearthly calm, unbound by the frenetic pulse of the surface world. Creatures had adapted to invisibility, transparent, cloaked in blacks and reds that disappeared into the gloom. Metabolisms slowed to whispers, sustained by the ghostly fall of marine snow drifting from distant, sunlit realms above. As Beebe and Barton ascended, cradled by the bathysphere's fragile shell, they carried with them not just specimens of observation, but a profound reverence for the unseen wonders below. Even now, modern explorers, armed with robotic emissaries and sonar eyes, have mapped less than 10% of the ocean floor. The abyss remains Earth's greatest enigma, a vast, shadowed realm where life thrives in forms stranger and more beautiful than our boldest imaginations dare conceive. So, as sleep's gentle tide pulls us under, we drift not into emptiness, but toward an eternal dreamscape where ancient currents flow, unseen creatures dance in luminous splendor, and the boundless mysteries of the deep await our curiosity to awaken them once more. Marvels still roam undisturbed here in the abyssal night, cradled in a lullaby of slow tides and drifting snow. Here, the frenetic tempo of life above dissolves, replaced by the measured pulse of the deep. As we slumber, the ancient denizens of the abyss carry on their patient vigil, as they have for eons, knitting a tapestry of time beneath crushing darkness. Someday, perhaps, we may unravel all the mysteries these sightless depths guard. But for now, we can only visit in our dreams, sinking softly into the silent abyss where time, light, and life fade into elegant nothingness. Sweet dreams from the eternal night of the deep, Earth's last great unexplored frontier. With each expedition, researchers uncover new species, ecosystems, and enigmas that overturn our understanding of life on this planet. In 2020, a joint US-UK voyage to the Clarion-Clipperton zone of the Pacific revealed over 30 new species, from glass sponges to ethereal sea cucumbers and elusive octopuses. Yet, this glimpse is but a whisper of the abyss's secrets. Scientists estimate millions more unknown beings dwell in this shadowed realm. But even as we marvel at the abundance of deep-sea life, this alien world faces growing threats from human activities. Climate change warms and acidifies the oceans, straining fragile corals and temperature-sensitive creatures. Bottom trawling scars 2.5 million square miles of seafloor annually, ripping ancient sponges from their slow growth, decimating seamount communities. And looming deep-sea mining ventures threaten to carve swaths through pristine abyssal plains. If history teaches us anything, it's how much of the ocean remains veiled. Over 80% of the seas are still unmapped, unseen by human eyes. The creatures dwelling below have existed for eons in darkness, enduring under crushing pressures on meager rations. Now, their sanctuary faces an unprecedented threat. How many wonders will vanish before we even know they exist? What marvels of evolution will slip into oblivion, lost to the insatiable hunger for exploitation?
Perhaps one day, journeys to the deep sea will be as commonplace as expeditions to outer space. Already, submersible joyrides to the Titanic's resting place and the Challenger Deep are accessible to a privileged few. Maybe in the future, vacationers will flock to the thermal vents of the Mid-Atlantic Ridge or marvel at bioluminescent ballets in the benthic zone. With advances in battery technology and lightweight materials, autonomous underwater vehicles may glide for months through the abyss, live streaming its ghostly wonders. For most of us, though, the abyss will remain a mysterious otherworld as remote as Jupiter's moons, a place we visit only in our most whimsical dreams. As we drift into the welcoming arms of sleep, down in the endless night of the deep, bone-white crabs and eyeless fish continue their ancient lives, slow, pared-down existences measured in centuries. The deep sea reminds us how fleeting our own lives are in the grand tapestry of time. While we slumber, the eternal dance of predator and prey, life and death, plays out in the void, as it has since life's first fragile flicker. Humbling, isn't it, to know beings exist on our planet so utterly alien, yet their story is bound to ours.
The deep ocean is the crucible from which all life on Earth emerged. Every living thing traces its lineage to the primordial soup birthed around ancient hydrothermal vents. The odyssey of life from sea to land is etched in every bone in our bodies, in every pulse of our hearts. So, as you nestle into your blanket, surrendering to sleep, spare a thought for the unseen creatures of the deep. They live out their unfathomable lives in the abyss, indifferent to our gaze, yet intricately connected to us. In a way, the deep sea is Earth's closest analog to an alien world, a place of eternal darkness, filled with beings that seem to defy nature's laws. Yet the more we learn about the abyss, the more we realize how deeply entwined we are with this alien realm. The fate of the oceans is the fate of all life on this planet, from plankton that gift us oxygen to whales that nourish ecosystems with their monumental falls. So, as you surrender to sleep's gentle pull, drifting into your own abyss, remember, you are part of something vast, a living tapestry woven from sunlit shallows to Stygian depths, stitched over billions of years. The mysteries of the deep may never be fully unveiled, but in dreams we float weightless, cradled by infinite darkness, one with the abyss's wonders. In the abyssal stillness, where shadows stretch unbroken and silence reigns supreme, dwell some of Earth's most ancient beings. Here, life unfolds not in hurried pulses, but in languid stretches of time. The Greenland shark, ghost-like in its glacial realm, drifts through icy currents, a silent sentinel whose existence may span over 400 years, earning it the title of the longest-lived vertebrate. Nearby, the deep-sea sponge Monoraphis towers up to 3 meters, its form a fragile spire of time. Growing mere millimeters per year, the oldest among them have filtered the ocean's whispers for over 10,000 years. Yet, even in this realm of eternal dusk, bursts of life and color erupt unexpectedly. Hydrothermal vents, fissures where the Earth's molten breath escapes, spew torrents of superheated, mineral-rich water into the cold darkness. Scalding at nearly 400 degrees Celsius and laced with toxins like hydrogen sulfide, these geysers cradle thriving ecosystems. Here, life defies expectation, flourishing in the warmth of geological alchemy, sheltered from the icy grip of the crushing deep. The key to this resilience lies with chemosynthetic bacteria, microbial alchemists that transmute chemical energy from the vents into sustenance, much like plants weaving sunlight into sugar. These invisible architects form the bedrock of vibrant communities. Giant tube worms stretching 2 meters long, their crimson plumes pulsing with life. Clams and mussels with shells kissed by mineral hues. Crabs and fish adapted to endure the scorching currents and abyssal chill. In the intimate embrace of symbiosis, tube worms harbor these bacteria within their bodies. The microbes craft sugars, nourishing their unwitting hosts, while the worms provide carbon dioxide, oxygen, and refuge, a partnership forged in the crucible of extremes. Since their accidental discovery in 1977, over 700 unique species have been cataloged around these vents, each adapted to its vent's unique cocktail of minerals and temperatures. But even marvels fade. When a vent cools and dies, the vibrant life it nurtures collapses, leaving behind skeletal ruins, a ghostly echo of abundance. These desolate remains, like ancient shipwrecks, become feeding grounds for scavengers, sustaining life long after the warmth has fled. Deeper still, in the shadowed basins of the Gulf of Mexico and the Red Sea, lie brine pools, alien lakes within the ocean itself. Their waters, dense with salt, form distinct boundaries, as if the sea holds its breath and folds into itself. So saline are these pools that submersibles float upon them, and sampling bottles dip as if piercing another world. Devoid of oxygen and steeped in lethal methane and sulfur, they are inhospitable to most, yet along their toxic shores, life endures. Mussels and shrimp, evolved to withstand the chemical assault, cling to survival. Predatory fish hover cautiously above, wary of lingering too long, lest they be ensnared by the brine's lethal embrace. Within the brine, only the hardiest microbes thrive, painting the lakebed with bacterial mats, a living crust, relics from a time when primordial seas evaporated under prehistoric suns. As tectonic plates shifted and ancient salt beds were buried, the relentless pressure squeezed out concentrated brine, seeping up through the seafloor to form these dense, saline relics, liquid fossils of Earth's distant past. Yet the ocean's mysteries plunge deeper still. Beneath the very seabed, hidden within the mud and rock, exists a vast biosphere, a subterranean empire of microbes eking out an existence without sunlight, feasting on whispers of chemical energy. Here, life moves in a slow-motion ballet, cell division unfolding over centuries. This hidden realm, vast and ancient, may harbor more biomass than all life on Earth's surface, nestled within crevices that stretch kilometers into the planet's crust. If the oceans were drained, revealing the seafloor's barren expanse, a landscape of mud, ooze, and fractured rock, we'd glimpse a world teeming with unseen life. Hypersaline lakes, mineral geysers, and an underground ecosystem of bacteria, archaea, and fungi sprawling beneath our feet in unimaginable abundance. Even in the Mariana Trench, Earth's deepest abyss, plunging nearly 11,000 meters, where Mount Everest would drown beneath a mile of water, life holds on. The pressure here is unfathomable, crushing with the force of over 1,000 atmospheres, temperatures hovering just above freezing. Yet in 2012, James Cameron's historic solo descent revealed ghostly fish flitting through the gloom, amphipods dancing like delicate specters across the seafloor. These creatures, shaped by the trench's crushing embrace, bear evolutionary armor. Snailfish with pressure-resistant molecules coursing through their muscles. Amphipods clad in aluminum-like exoskeletons, resilient against the abyss's grasp. Even more astonishing, microbes thrive in the sediment below, their slow metabolism a testament to life's tenacity. Some, brought to the surface, continued to grow, defying expectations. The Mariana Trench, far from lifeless, is an alien oasis, a promise etched into the fabric of Earth's extremes, hinting at life beyond our world. Could similar microbes lurk beneath Europa's icy crust, nourished by hidden oceans warmed by tidal forces? Might life cling to hydrothermal vents on Enceladus, or in the shadowed canyons beneath Pluto's frozen surface, sustained not by sunlight, but by chemical whispers from the deep? The deep sea's profound resilience urges us to keep our minds open, to embrace the unknown. Time and again, exploration has overturned our assumptions, revealing life in places we once deemed impossible. The abyss calls to us still, a final frontier, not of emptiness, but of hidden wonders, waiting for those bold enough to seek them. Above freezing, it's difficult to fathom life enduring in Earth's harshest environment. Yet in 2012, when James Cameron embarked on his historic solo descent to the Mariana Trench's deepest abyss, he was met with a spectacle that defied expectations. Through his small viewport, ghostly, delicate fish glided gracefully within the glow of his submersible lights, while shrimp-like amphipods pirouetted along the silent seafloor. Later analyses revealed these beings, the ethereal Mariana snailfish and the resilient Hirondella digas amphipods, to be unique species, exquisitely attuned to the trench's singular conditions. The snailfish bore extraordinary levels of TMAO, a pressure-stabilizing molecule fortifying its muscles, while the amphipods donned natural armor, their exoskeletons infused with aluminum to resist the crushing embrace of the depths. Even more astonishing was the discovery of microbial life nestled within the sediment blanketing the trench floor. In defiance of overwhelming pressure, absolute darkness, and scant nutrients, bacteria and archaea thrived, their unseen lives sustained by the faint trickle of detritus drifting down from the world above. Some microbes even endured the journey back to the surface, reproducing under conditions thought inhospitable. The Mariana Trench is not a barren void, but an alien oasis, a testament to life's tenacity at the very edge of possibility. This revelation stirs profound implications for the cosmos. If bacteria and archaea can flourish in Earth's most hostile niches, might life also cling to existence in the solar system's farthest, most extreme corners? Could microbial life shimmer beneath Europa's icy crust, nurtured by hidden oceans warmed by tidal forces? Might hydrothermal vents on Enceladus's seafloor harbor thriving ecosystems? Could entire biospheres shelter beneath Pluto's frozen facade, sustained not by sunlight, but by the faint warmth of radioactive decay and chemical reactions deep within? The history of deep-sea exploration humbles us, consistently upending our assumptions. 2 centuries ago, Edward Forbes declared the oceans beyond 1,800 feet lifeless. Today, we know life abounds even in the abyssal trenches. We once imagined the deep as an endless expanse of mud and detritus, yet now we uncover hydrothermal wonderlands, brine lakes, and whalefall oases teeming with unique life forms. The seafloor, once thought static and barren, is a bustling underworld of microbial alchemists cycling nutrients and forging energy in perpetual darkness. Much remains undiscovered in this alien realm beneath the waves. Each expedition into the abyss returns with footage and specimens of creatures never before seen by human eyes. We have mapped only a sliver of the deep seafloor and even less of the vast water column above. Every dive holds the potential to unveil strange new ecosystems, living fossils from ancient epochs, or unprecedented biochemistries and survival strategies. The abyss whispers answers to science's greatest questions: the genesis of life, the boundaries of habitability, and the looming impacts of climate change. It beckons us ever deeper. Perhaps in some distant future, humanity may establish permanent colonies on the seafloor, as we now endeavor to settle on the Moon and Mars. Imagine cities beneath the ocean, cradled in protective domes near hydrothermal vents, harvesting Earth's mineral riches while studying extremophile life firsthand. Perhaps we'll even adapt our biology to withstand the pressure and breathe the abyssal fluids, becoming true denizens of the deep. It's a mesmerizing thought to drift into sleep with. But for now, we can marvel at the wonders awaiting us within our own planet's inky depths. An alien landscape more spectacular than even the wildest dreams of science fiction. Picture yourself sinking gently into the abyssal night, the shimmering lights of the surface fading above, replaced by bioluminescent specks dancing like distant stars in a velvet sky. Drift past the crimson-black shroud of vampire squids, the piercing gaze of viperfish, and the ethereal glow of anglerfish lures. Sink deeper, beyond bone-devouring worms and crabs feasting on whalefalls, past tubeworm forests basking in vent-borne warmth, and microbial tapestries shimmering along brine lake shores. Descend until even the Mariana snailfish and TMAO-laced amphipods cannot follow, where primordial ooze cradles bacteria that have labored in silent persistence for billions of years. Here, in the cold, eternal darkness of the abyss, a hidden world thrives beyond our wildest imaginations. As sleep envelops you, remember, the deep is not a void of emptiness, but a living, breathing, endlessly fascinating realm. A realm that waits patiently, its mysteries intact, until humanity dares once more to plunge into the unknown. The alien world below carries on, cradling mysteries that eclipse our most fantastical dreams. As sleep softly claims you, remember, the deep is not a barren, silent void, but a living, breathing tapestry of wonders, patiently waiting for humanity's next daring plunge into its eternal embrace. Rest now, and let your dreams drift with the marvels of the abyss. The deep oceans, once thought lifeless, teem with astonishing creatures, each exquisitely adapted to the crushing pressures and eternal night. Consider the anglerfish. Imagine a cavernous maw bristling with needle-sharp teeth, a body seemingly swallowed by its own head, and from its brow, a ghostly glowing lure dancing like a will-o'-the-wisp to enchant prey. Over 200 species of this spectral predator prowl the darkness, their bizarre biology a testament to evolution's wild creativity. The tiny male, a whisper of a being, fuses with the larger female, becoming a permanent living appendage, a surreal partnership ensuring the pulse of life endures.
Another legend lurking in the abyss is the giant squid. Once the sea monster of mariners' tales, it is a fragile phantom stretching up to 13 meters, its dinner plate eyes the largest in the animal kingdom, piercing the darkness with otherworldly clarity. Despite its grandeur, it is soft, gelatinous, a delicate wraith sculpted by the crushing deep, where bones are burdens and softness a survival grace. Jellyfish and comb jellies take this ethereality to extremes. Pulsing bells of translucent silk, trailing tendrils that whisper through the black, some flickering with bioluminescent fire, casting brief constellations in the abyssal night. For in this world without a sun, light is born from within. Bioluminescence is the ocean's heartbeat. An estimated 90% of deep-sea creatures shimmer with living light. A language of glows and flashes. Anglerfish luring prey. Startled vampire squids unfurling cloaks of radiant dots. An elegant vanishing act in the dark. Some creatures wear cloaks of invisibility. Glass squids, their bodies crystalline specters, betraying only the gleam of their watchful eyes. In the twilight zone, where the last whispers of sunlight die, hues of red and black weave perfect camouflage. The dragonfish reigns here, a phantom with jet-black skin and dagger teeth, wielding red bioluminescence like a sniper's beam, illuminating unsuspecting prey, invisible to all but its predator's gaze. From the ethereal tendrils of siphonophores to the cavernous gulps of the pelican eel, each life form is a masterpiece etched by time and pressure. They float not as anomalies, but as echoes of Earth's ancient dreams. As you drift deeper into your own abyss of sleep, may these visions cradle you, a lullaby woven from shadows and light, from the deep's eternal whispered secrets. As we journey further into the abyss, we are met with wonders that defy the limits of our imagination. Towering hydrothermal vents, ancient and colossal, rise like submerged cathedrals in the eternal night, their mineral plumes nurturing entire ecosystems in a world devoid of sunlight. Not far from these vibrant oases lie the somber graveyards of sunken leviathans, whale falls, silent monuments to life's fleeting grandeur, now cradling communities of scavengers in their skeletal embrace. Each discovery adds a new thread to the vast, intricate tapestry of the deep, reminding us how little we truly know of this alien world beneath the waves. But as sleep beckons, let your mind drift gently into that inky darkness, imagining the strange, luminous creatures that call it home. In the realm where dreams and reality intertwine, the impossible becomes just another facet of life's endless surprises. For most of human history, the deep ocean was shrouded in mystery, thought to be an empty void where life could not endure the crushing pressures and eternal dark. It took the courage of intrepid explorers to peel back this veil. Among the most ambitious was the HMS Challenger's voyage from 1872 to 1876, a floating laboratory armed with the era's finest scientific instruments and a crew of devoted naturalists. Over 4 years and nearly 70,000 nautical miles, they stitched together the first true map of the ocean's hidden heart. At each of the Challenger's 362 sampling stations, weighted lines plumbed the abyss, measuring depths previously undreamed of. Dredges and nets scraped the seafloor, hauling up mud, rocks, and the fragile forms of creatures that had never felt the sun's warmth.
What they uncovered, delicate transparent sea cucumbers, nightmarish viperfish with glassy fangs, bizarre tentacled comb jellies, and giant single-celled xenophorus, shattered the belief that life could not exist below 1,800 feet. Even in sediment from the deepest trenches, they found living bacteria, disproving Edward Forbes's theory of an azoic abyss. By the expedition's end, over 4,700 new species had been cataloged, their preserved forms still revealing secrets to modern scientists. The Challenger's comprehensive report spanned 50 colossal volumes, a testament to the staggering diversity lurking in Earth's least known frontier. Perhaps most profoundly, it proved that life could not only exist, but flourish in the planet's most extreme and inhospitable corners. Inspired by the Challenger's revelations, other nations embarked on their own deep-sea odysseys. Between 1899 and 1900, the Dutch vessel HNLMS Soboga charted the Indo-Pacific's shadowed basins, uncovering thousands of crustaceans, corals, and mollusks. Meanwhile, the U.S. Fish Commission's Albatross, fitted with pioneering steel cables, trawled to unprecedented depths, its nets bursting with strange, otherworldly fishes pulled from the abyss. Yet, these early expeditions captured only fleeting glimpses of deep-sea life, mangled, gasping creatures wrenched from their dark home. To truly understand the abyss, someone would have to venture down, to meet its inhabitants face to face. It seemed an impossible dream. Even at 1,000 feet, the ocean's pressure could crush a human as easily as a shell beneath a boot. Who would dare descend into such darkness? In the 1930s, two visionaries answered that call: American naturalist William Beebe and engineering prodigy Otis Barton. Together, they designed the bathysphere, a steel sphere, small and claustrophobic, with tiny fused quartz windows, the only material strong enough to withstand the crushing depths. Suspended by a single steel cable, they entrusted their lives to this fragile vessel, dangling like a bead on a string over the yawning void. Inside, the risks were palpable. A snapped cable, a cracked window, or even the slow buildup of carbon dioxide could mean instant or lingering doom. Yet, Beebe and Barton descended again and again. Through the misted quartz, they beheld an alien world of eternal night, pierced only by flickering bioluminescent ghosts, jelly-like ctenophores pulsing with electric blues, gulper eels gaping with sail-like jaws, and phantom anglerfish wielding lures of living light. On August 15, 1934, they made history, plunging to 3,028 feet, deeper than any human had gone before. As they hung suspended in the abyss, a swordfish's stray strike nearly severed their cable, but the bathysphere held firm. Through the gloom, Beebe glimpsed a creature unlike any seen before. A small, dark form drifting past, its violet glow fading like embers. It was later named Bathysphaera intacta, in honor of their daring vessel. The bathysphere's dives cracked open a window into the deep, but much of the abyss remained locked behind walls of pressure and darkness. It took the technological leaps of war, advances in sonar, submersibles, and robotics to truly begin exploring these depths. Yet, Beebe and Barton's courage proved the abyss was no barren wasteland. It was a thriving realm, stranger and more spectacular than any myth.
As you close your eyes, picture Beebe's first glimpse into the void. The faint cobalt shimmer of a viperfish ghosting past, its diaphanous fins trembling in unseen currents. Imagine the flicker of a phantom anglerfish's lure, drawing unsuspecting prey into its needle-toothed maw. Even today, we have seen only a fraction of the life that calls the abyss home. Each dive, each robotic mission reveals new marvels beyond imagination. So as you slip into sleep, let your mind drift with those visions of an ocean that hides not emptiness, but endless mystery. A world where life thrives against all odds,
cradled in the eternal embrace of darkness. The deep sea, a realm veiled in eternal darkness and mystery, harbors life forms beyond the wildest imaginations of human curiosity. As you drift into sleep, consider the vastness beneath, where oceans conceal alien worlds scarcely touched by light or human presence. The abyss has long been a canvas for myths, drawn from the rare, enigmatic creatures snagged in fishermen's nets or discovered washed ashore. Monsters to some, marvels to others. Yet life thrives where it was once thought impossible. The crushing weight of the ocean, increasing with every 10 meters of depth, would obliterate most surface life. At 4,000 meters, you'd be burdened by a force 400 times greater than the air pressure at sea level. But the deep sea's denizens have evolved exquisite adaptations. Flabby, gelatinous bodies, lightweight fats, and tissues resilient against the immense pressure. The absence of light has spawned bizarre anatomies, anglerfish wielding luminescent lures, translucent fish with eyes like orbs gazing perpetually upwards, and eels with monstrous maws capable of engulfing prey their own size. Bioluminescence paints the abyss with fleeting strokes of light. Delicate jellies pulse like ethereal lanterns, shrimp wave luminous signals in courtship dances, and predators like the anglerfish dangle glowing beacons to seduce the unwary. In this world, light is life, with up to 90% of creatures in the deepest trenches wielding their own radiant displays, camouflage, lures, warnings. The deep sea is also a graveyard, yet from death springs abundance. Whale falls, a leviathan's final descent, become oases, nourishing ecosystems for decades as scavengers and microbial alchemists feast on the rich remains. Sunken logs host wood-boring clams. Seamounts rise like submerged kingdoms, deflecting currents to create vibrant coral gardens teeming with life that can span millennia. Living fossils, such as the coelacanth, thought extinct for 66 million years, patrol these depths alongside ancient horseshoe crabs, unchanged for over 400 million years. Their evolutionary stasis is a testament to the stability of their environment, an unchanging abyss indifferent to the ice ages and continental shifts above. But humanity's shadow stretches even here. Bottom trawlers scar the seafloor, deep-sea mining looms, and carbon emissions seep into the ocean's heart, altering its delicate chemistry. Yet each expedition brings new revelations, species unknown, ecosystems unseen. Giant amoebas, microbes thriving within rocks, life forms that redraw the very tree of life. As you surrender to sleep, imagine the deep's timeless rhythm, the gentle drift of currents, the slow fall of marine snow, the silent glow of bioluminescence. In that darkness, life endures, a continuum stretching back to Earth's first breath. Perhaps there's comfort in this, that beneath us an ancient world whispers its secrets, patient and eternal. Woodfalls, like ghostly relics from distant lands, drift down into the abyssal darkness, settling softly upon the seafloor. These silent sentinels may have been nature's earliest invitations, beckoning shallow water species to journey deeper step by tentative step. The presence of wood-eating limpets in the Hadal zones whispers of ancient migrations, of life's fearless ventures into the unknown.
As we drift into sleep, it's comforting to know that the deep, alien, and timeless carries on. Its rhythms move beyond our frantic world, a realm where life endures in darkness, cradled by currents and the slow fall of marine snow. Even in slumber, we share this existence, breathing in time with the abyss. Life's pulse, ancient and enduring, connects us all, from the surface to the seafloor. And as dreams pull us under, we join the deep, if only for a while, in its eternal whispered song. Seasons whisper their tales, but none as ancient as the deep. Ice ages ebb and flow, continents drift, collide, and fracture. Mountain ranges rise in defiant peaks, only to bow again to time's erosion.
Yet, beneath it all, the deep ocean basins stand resolute, unchanged for hundreds of millions of years. In this cradle of constancy, where life's tempo drifts like slow tides, evolution's brushstrokes are patient and deliberate. In this languid realm, the pace of existence creeps, and the forces that sculpt life's tapestry take their time. The deep sea emerges as a window to Earth's distant past, not just preserving relic species, but entire ecosystems, living archives that have persisted since complex life first stirred in primordial waters. But to believe the deep is untouched by us is to ignore our long shadow. Human reach extends even into these remote abysses. While our understanding stumbles in darkness, our impact blazes through. Bottom trawlers carve scars in the silt, obliterating coral cathedrals centuries in the making. Seabed mining threatens to strip away metal-rich nodules alongside the fragile lives anchored to them. Carbon dioxide, the invisible breath of our progress, sinks into the abyss, acidifying waters that cradle life dependent on delicate calcium shells. Skeletons dissolve silently, unseen casualties of distant engines and factories. The imperative to understand this final frontier grows with each tide. Every expedition plunges into mystery, surfacing with stories of new species, unseen ecosystems, and revelations that redraw the tree of life. Beings that defy comprehension, like xenophorphores, plate-sized amoebas, the largest single-celled organisms, or microbes nestled within stone, hinting at a deep biosphere rivaling all life above. As we lie in bed on the cusp of dreams, it's strangely comforting to know that in the abyss, life marches on, untouched by the cacophony above. A realm where time stretches, where change is not marked by fleeting moments, but by the slow waltz of currents, the gentle drizzle of sediments, and evolution's unhurried hand. Yet, even here, in the ocean's eternal night, we're tethered. A fragile connection woven through the darkness behind our eyelids, the rhythm of our breath, the warmth cocooning us. These are echoes of the elemental forces that cradle life from seafloor to starlight. In the crevices and hidden caves of seamounts, smaller creatures find refuge. Lobsters, crabs, and octopuses squeezing into rocky nooks, their vivid carapaces contrasting with the muted stones. On the sunlit summits of these undersea giants, kelp forests sway with the rhythm of currents, parrotfish crunch coral, and sea stars cling to rugged outcrops, each life a testament to adaptation. The seclusion of seamounts transforms them into crucibles of evolution, where animals and plants subtly diverge over millennia, shaped by the unique circumstances carved into their isolated realms. Some seamounts cradle species found nowhere else on Earth, their evolutionary tales whispered through uninterrupted time. As we marvel at the wonders of seamounts and the vast abyssal plains, it humbles us to reflect on how much of the deep ocean remains uncharted. The watery veil that cloaks our blue planet holds secrets just beyond our grasp. Imagine Mount Everest itself would vanish, swallowed whole, if placed within the Mariana Trench. Such is the immensity of this liquid universe. And yet, despite the deep sea's seeming inaccessibility, it is far from untouched. The abyss is no longer beyond sight, nor beyond consequence. Deep-sea trawling scrapes the seabed bare, erasing ancient coral forests before human eyes have even glimpsed their fragile beauty. Pollution and discarded plastic drift into the abyss, ensnaring life in silent, suffocating embrace. Rising global temperatures and the creeping acidity of our oceans threaten to unravel the delicate balance of abyssal ecosystems, fraying threads woven over eons. Perhaps most troubling are the looming campaigns to mine the seabed for precious metals, ventures that risk inflicting irreversible wounds upon habitats crafted in darkness and resilience. The creatures of the deep have flourished in obscure tranquility, their existence etched in the quiet ledger of geologic time. But now they face an uncertain future, shadows cast not by the absence of light, but by the weight of human influence. Extending into the most remote reaches of our planet, the abyss remains a canvas of mystery and marvel. Yet, even amidst its shadows, there glimmers a reason for hope. Just as humanity's unquenchable thirst for knowledge propelled the earliest oceanographers to venture into the unknown depths, that same boundless curiosity now ignites new generations of scientists and explorers. With every daring plunge of a crewed submersible, with each meticulous survey by robotic probes, and the unveiling of high-resolution seafloor maps, we peel back the ocean's watery veil, revealing hidden wonders and seeding fresh questions. These discoveries inspire initiatives to establish vast marine protected areas, aiming to curb deep-sea exploitation and confront the relentless tide of climate change. Year after year, these efforts gain momentum, a testament to our enduring commitment. The future of the abyss remains unwritten, a story still in the making. Even as we drift gently into slumber, researchers and advocates tirelessly champion the cause of safeguarding the deep. Their work ensures that this realm of marvels endures, not just for us, but for countless generations of humans and the creatures that inhabit these shadow depths. Perhaps one day, when science has cast its light on even more of the ocean's secrets, our dreams will be adorned not only with fanciful mermaids and mythical krakens, but also with the phantasmagorical, very real beings that dwell in the deep. This glimpse you've shared in is but an introduction to a world barely understood, an invitation to ponder the enigmatic mysteries lurking beneath the waves. With any luck, our voyage through the history and grandeur of the deep ocean has stirred your curiosity and gently lulled you toward restful peace. If this aquatic odyssey resonated with you, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. We have many more seaworthy scientific adventures to embark on together. Until next time, sweet dreams, and may your deepest dives, whether in thought or in ocean, be filled with wonder.